I'm so glad that this message has found you today. Okay, I feel like saying boop, just opening up because I know it's not been easy to get here, right? Yeah, there is such a beautiful window that is going to be opening up. You can think about it as a break within the fabric of space-time, where there is essentially this safe passage of corridor that is going to be activating from today, and it's going to be carrying you. I'm seeing you being held over these next, oh, I love this, 3-month window. And the reason I say 3 months is because we have Chiron's ingress into the sign of Taurus taking place today. And ingress is like this entrance that happens. Chiron is the wounded healer. So he represents where we have these deep innate wounds inside of us, not just subjectively, and them being linked to our ancestral lineage, but also collective wounds. And I'm seeing something that has been masked that's going to be slowly dissolving or unveiling itself. And the beautiful thing is that as you move through these next 3 months, these are going to be elements within your entire lineage that will become unveiled. I'm just seeing something being revealed. It's something that's going to be slowly cooking, and it's so I'm hearing the word auspicious because of the abundance and the relief and elevation that happens where you're essentially mutating and returning to a higher order by the end of this transit, where there is this medicinal element or frequency that will flow through you and touch the lives of those around you, right? I'm just seeing touching the heart, touching every being that's navigating this planet Earth. However, this 3-month window is going to give you a preview into the story that will unfold in the year of 2027. So I want you to really pay attention to what is going to be slowly coming to the surface, because ultimately Chiron is a beautiful asteroid because it's our ability to help others heal. It's where other souls will actually gravitate towards us to seek assistance from somebody who has had this lived experience, someone that they can relate to, someone that they feel seen by, someone that they feel understood by. And that is you, my dear. I always talk about this analogy when I speak about Chiron, especially when I do one-to-one sessions with you guys. And it's like someone, I don't know why, I guess be emotional, but it's like someone wanting to chart the seas, right? They're wanting to go out into the ocean and sail, but they've never done it before. Who do they want to go to, right? They don't want to go to someone that just read about it in textbooks and is going to be just giving them this information, but it's not coming from that lived, embodied depth of experience. They want to go to the sailor who has been through the roughest of seas, who has been through the thick of it, and has come out on the other side of an experience even stronger, even more refined, and not defined by the experience, but it's literally allowed their character to go through this really I'm hearing development, but also initiation being complementary forces in your life. So there is some type of initiation that you're going to be embarking on in these next 3 months that will develop your character. It will develop your gifts and your abilities. And this is essentially a brand new chapter that is beginning, that you're receiving a sweet taste of what is to come. And I'm hearing it's like sweet medicine. You know, when they say it could even feel like a bittersweet energy. And an important thing to note is it's not going to be loud. This isn't going to be dramatic. Taurus is a fixed sign. Chiron has been transiting through Aries, and it will again. It will return in September. We'll go through the dates in a moment. So it's a little bit more subtle in the earth energy. It's a little bit more productive and relaxed and slow. And so I see this as things that are slowly being unveiled. It is things that are going to be illuminated that have been repressed or suppressed beneath the surface. And that healing process is going to revolve around things like security, themes around your self-worth, your value, and ultimately the soul's relationship to the material plane, how you're creating in this realm, how you're co-creating in this realm, and I'm just seeing being seated in this stillness. When we think about Taurus energy and coming back into harmonic order and your true nature, it really is the element of, and we'll speak about this more, but it kind of reminds me of collective themes of working with crystals again, working with the natural elements of the earth, really being able to go out and ground the soles of your feet onto the planet Earth and feel her heartbeat and pulse reverberate through your entire being. It really is the connection to Mother Earth. It really is the connection to Gaia, and seeing how that is incredibly restorative. So Chiron has already been moving through Aries, right? This is bringing themes around our identity, and Taurus is going to show us themes of stability, how safe we feel in our body, how connected we feel to ourselves and our vessel, our conduit, your unique divining tuned instrument that allows the divine to channel itself, allows the universe to channel itself through you and your unique frequency. There is this element of no longer operating in scarcity, in fear, in survival. To give you a rundown on the dates, Chiron will enter into Taurus on the 19th of June, and then he's going to sit there and work with us collectively around this theme up until about mid-September. In mid-September, Chiron will regress back into Aries, which is going to give us that final review period when it comes to the I am embodiment, the I am expression. How well are you embodying the perspective of source as you're immersed in this system? It really is being brought back to your center, being brought back to the stillness, not even in just how you exchange with the material plane, but being centered in the 0 point so that you can admire and observe neutrally the intricacies and complexities of your very surroundings, of the very matrix that you're immersed in, and be so anchored and rooted in whom you are as an individual expression of the divine, as an individual expression of the I am, that you are able to remain coherent and seated inside of who you are, not doubting your divinity, for you are inseparable from divinity itself. You are a divine being roaming this earth. So that is gonna, again, just be themes around identity. Then we'll see Chiron re-enter back into the sign of Taurus in 2027. That's going to be around April 14th, and it will remain there until 2033. So that could be something that you want to mark in your diaries. We're going to take a look at what you're going to be moving through, and then also what's going to happen when this is, I don't want to say permanently seated, but it is a very intelligent organism of consciousnness that you're going to be working through, and actually will be working with you as you embark on your space-time travels to move through these themes. And I'm seeing it as something intergalactic as well, something to do with interstellar travel and understanding the themes that are occurring on your lifetime on Earth are also running parallel to many other planetary star systems that you're also seated in, right? These quantum non-local connections that you're entangled with. And I'm hearing it's subtly influencing. There's things that are happening in the etheric and higher realms that are bleeding into what you're going to see translating into your earthly timelines within these next 3 months. So really pay attention to that. Another thing that I would mention is these are going to be themes that we'll be working through for the next 7 years. So it's the beginning of a much larger healing journey that we're all going to be going through. And that's going to surround themes of your embodiment, your relationship with the resources that sustain you. And I'm seeing you becoming your own immeasurable resource. All right. So we're looking at our relationship to the planet. We're looking at our relationship to Gaia, to the physical realm, and also our relationship to money becoming a tool that allows us to create in this realm. So you could be learning how to actually cultivate that abundance from within these next 3 months onwards. That could be your skills. It could be your natural talents. It could be being able to create these I'm hearing curate, actually not create. You're curating some type of ability over the next 3 months. I'm going to use curate as a specific keyword real quick. To curate comes from the idea of a curator, so someone who carefully selects, organizes, and presents things with intention. To curate means to thoughtfully choose, arrange, refine, and present something so it creates a specific experience, message, or outcome. This could be you curating maybe a playlist that's going to be helping you. It could be a social media feed. I'm just seeing how you curate your life experience, how you curate I'm seeing even internal world when it comes to the way that you're thinking and feeling about your life on earth that will ultimately and directly impact the way that you're experiencing it. So it's not just collecting things, but it's actually selecting things very intentionally. And that could be what you want to be part of your experience, right? How you want to curate your abilities. It could be deliberately developing or refining or selecting some kind of talent that you want to be able to express, something that is naturally part of, I'm hearing an extension of your soul. It's an expression of your soul. So that could be gifts that represent who you are as an individual. These are the things that allow you to tune into I'm hearing abundant reserves that have always been within you. All right. This is value in whom you are as a unique expression of the divine. Things that cannot be mimicked, they cannot be replaced, they cannot be manufactured, they cannot be mimicked, replaced, manufactured, or there's another keyword there. I'm hearing it's the invoking, so it's almost like you're invoking something. And invoking was a keyword that actually came up in another reading that I did, but I forgot to look up the keyword right now. So it could be a healer that's curating their abilities by studying different modalities. Again, that could be something that you're being called to work with. It could be things to do with body work, and again, like crystals, minerals, things, natural elements of the earth. And I'm hearing natural elements within you. Let's go ahead and see. It could be also if you create content, it could be you curating your abilities by combining storytelling, your intuition, speaking, and teaching perhaps a unique offering. Let me go ahead and utilize that keyword real quick before we get into the Sabian symbol. Whatever this is, it's definitely something that comes naturally to you. It's also how you create value to the earth. And I'm hearing every expression and manifestation of the earth. And it's something that aligns you with your deeper purpose and calling. All right. I'm hearing this is where your calling starts to get louder and you start answering that call. All right. And it's not a conference call. So not everyone is supposed to understand. This is the early stages. I also see it as you curating your abilities, becoming an art of selecting what it is that you want to refine within yourself. That could be you embodying gifts that just authentically express who you are as a unique expression. Invoking means to call upon, summon, or bring forth or activate something. So it's literally like you're being summoned over these next 3 months. Again, you're being given this celestial portal to jump into. It's this invisible current that flies you away into another realm. So you're in this world, but you're experiencing a very, I'm hearing ultimate, more subtle layer of this reality. This could be invoking is deliberately call something into your presence, your awareness, or experience. So you could be becoming more aware of something. To consciously call a quality, energy, archetype, deity, guide, virtue, or state of consciousness into yourself or your experience. Yeah, you could be invoking courage, perhaps before a challenge. You could be invoking compassion during difficult conversations, even if that's with yourself and being able to hold space for yourself for what needs to be addressed. Because again, Chiron is this wound, it is this sensitivity that you'll have. And maybe invoking an archetype such as a healer, sage, warrior, or mystic that you want to work with. In etymology, from Latin, in is into and vocere is to call. So you're calling into something, which is related to evoking, drawing something out, or bringing a feeling to mind. Invoking is to call something in. Invoking is the conscious act of calling a quality, energy, or intelligence into your awareness that it can be expressed through you. Again, it's very much a conduit type of vibe. And especially when we speak about Taurus's ruler is Venus, so it does feel very sensual. It does feel very sacred, sensory. It allows you to tune into your central connection with yourself and the earth. Let's go ahead and read the Sabian symbol. This is going to be of great significance, and I'm hearing it's going to represent a illustrative depiction for the energy behind this archetype, the energy behind this symbol, and the deeper message of it. Chiron is going to enter into 0 degrees of Taurus. We're going to round this up to 1 degrees in the Sabian symbols. And the theme is a source of strength. The symbol speaks to the impossibility of restraining the human spirit and the purity of spiritual fountainhead from which all life flows. This is a clear mountain stream of resourcefulness. The image of a clear mountain emphasizes spontaneity, creativity, and freedom. Dressed as a stream, accepts the limitations and rocks and obstacles only to help it reach its destination. The individual can be free from all requirements to accept unnecessary limitation and live his life according to any predetermined pattern, except as he chooses for the purpose of helping him achieve his objective. So really getting you back into alignment with what your soul's objective is. I'm hearing while you're experiencing through this subjective lens, which is the avatar that allows you to execute these intentions in the third dimension. At its highest, the symbol represents a clear and deep understanding for self-destiny and the determination to achieve it. You want to watch for self-dissipation through a tendency to scatter the resources of self or to go out in all directions at once. The action is on light-hearted spontaneity and freedom. You may be experiencing inner strength to break patterns and try something new. Rules and regulations may feel especially burdensome. Adventure beckons you. I love that word. Okay, you're being beckoned to come and safely learn more of what your life experience on this planet could look like. Again, it's allowing you to ascend into a higher order, a higher octave. Your greatest advantage lies in capitalizing on your creative energy. I'm also seeing something as you go through this refinement period and you clear this density, it's like you're alchemizing these wounds here. You're doing something with that pain. I'm hearing you're turning it into a sense of empowerment. Many of you have also adopted worldviews, even just ancestral programming that's been weaved through societal engineering to feel ashamed or feel disconnected from this innate expression within you. Write down all of your ideas and thoughts as they come to you. This is something that you're going to want to do over the next 3 months. Knock again on the door when it has been closed. Guard against going out in all directions and trying too many things at once. Curb the urge to throw caution to the wind and overspend your time, energy, or money. The stepping stones are source, purity, spontaneity, freedom of constraint, liveliness, creativity, and inspiration. So it's a pretty good Sabian symbol overall. Obviously, it's a lot to do with the purity of the soul, becoming uncontaminated, right? That was a key word from the societal conditioning, essentially, and tuning into spontaneous manifestation of one's own nature and coming back into alignment with that ultimately. That could be about authenticity. It could be about how you're sustaining yourself as you move through the system and just having a pure relationship, right? Coming back to the purity of your innate expression. I feel many of us are going to be redefining what a relationship to this physical plane actually looks like, especially when it comes to the value that this realm offers us, not just in experiential participation, but also how that translates into etheric, and I'm hearing eternal growth that stays with us after this temporal experience as the eternal being moving through these temporal moments. Chiron isn't just going to be exposing a wound here, but it's literally asking you a much deeper question, which is, what is the source in which you are drawing from that sustains you in your journey, right? Is this source something within? Because that image of the mountain stream is showing that it's not you just forcing your way through this reality and fighting every obstacle. Because if you think about a water kind of flowing towards the source, it remains true to its nature. Yes, it's naturally persistent and it finds a path either like over or through whatever appears to be in front of it. So I'm seeing it as nothing is really going to be truly getting in your way. You are truly, if you have this deep connection with yourself and you're fostering it and cultivating it, there is nothing in your way, and there never was. There was only this illusionary separation from the very source that you are deeply connected to. I'm hearing the source of your own strength. You are the source of your own stability. It's the reconnection with your own divine. Really asking the question, can you trust life or the material plane or Gaia to support you in your soul's desires? So that's going to be the abundance that flows through you. That's going to be the abundance that you are able to freely offer to this realm. It's the value that you bring to the earth, that you ground and you anchor into the earth, and understanding what it is that you're trying to build from a place of internal alignment. Because alignment isn't somewhere that you arrive at externally. You don't have to wait for somewhere for you to go somewhere in order for you to feel alignment. Alignment is a return to yourself. Even when we look at the Sabian symbol, it talks a lot about the phase of purity from that spiritual fountainhead from which all life flows. And I see it as the one source in which we all emerge from. I'm seeing it from like source to sea and the journey that you go on. It reminds me of something that I watched a while back, which was this dude in the UK, and he was going from the source of the River Thames, which is like this one little spring. There wasn't even really any water there. It was just like he was walking through the valleys, but he had this kayak and he was going on this deep adventure to go from source all the way into the sea. But on the way, there were these bank logs. They were lots of overgrown vegetation on his journey. He was walking a path that hadn't been walked upon this planet, or attempting to sail this path that hadn't been sailed on this planet for many generations, for many lifetimes. So there's something to do with this where it's like you're ingressing to regress. And if you, again, it's like you're entering just to return deeper back into yourself, and then really coming out into the world with this deep cultivation, with this almost was, again, deep connection that you've been able to cultivate within yourself. That's the original essence of the stream before it became contaminated. There were some areas that were incredibly polluted with, we could relate this to fear or scarcity mindsets, or our comparison, or just inherited beliefs that we have adopted about our worth, the societal definitions of what success is. And I do see on a deeper soul level, we're all going to be coming back into alignment with what success truly means for us, because that mountain stream, it doesn't ask for permission to flow. And it certainly doesn't compare itself to other streams, right? It doesn't compare itself to other divine beings. It's not questioning whether you are valuable through your very existence alone. And Chiron and Taurus is going to be teaching us all that. It's going to really be reminding us of this. And then if we note in the Sabian symbol, there's also a disclaimer, I would like to say. I don't want to say warning because I feel it's deeply linked to just fear, but it is a heads up, right? It gives us a heads up about scattering resources being equally important, and the stream that branches into 1,000 directions essentially loses momentum on its path. So it's really an intentional direction of your life force, really intentional things that you are pursuing over these next 3 months. And that's going to expose where we may be overextending ourselves to people or systems. I'm just seeing larger systems, or pursuing too many opportunities at once to the point where there's not this sufficient flow in a very specific aligned direction, because we're focusing on too many modalities. It's where we have 7 or 8 different things that we're doing, where we have a bunch of different unfinished projects. I'm just seeing as no longer leaking our own life force through unaligned commitments, really understanding what it is that we want to devote ourselves to. I feel devotion is going to be a really strong keyword. Ultimately, in the end, if we think about streams, they always end up reaching the ocean because that's what they're designed to do. You are inseparable from the very source you seek. All rivers lead to the ocean. It really is this type of essence, right? You are an expression of the ocean itself. You are the wave, a unique expression of the divine. You're, what's the saying? A drop within the ocean, but you're also the entire ocean in a drop. It gives me this concentrated flow. What are the parts of that natural essence that perhaps has been abandoned that you're going to be reclaiming. Let's first dive into what you can expect during this 3-month preview or prelude of what 2027 has in store for you. Again, once this ingresses into Taurus for good, that is logged in until 2033 for the most part. You'll see a brief introduction to the next octave of lessons that will be unfolding. However, this is a specific energetic signature that will be highly influencing not just the earth, but every being that walks her. Okay, we have expansion. So something's going to be expanding. I'm seeing this as also the wound. That's for it to be addressed. It's to bring your awareness to something. Let's see what expanding is. I'm hearing you're opening something. It's like a portal that's opening that was previously closed. Have you ever had I remember I used to do parkour, right, as a teenager. And once I was climbing something and it impaled me over here, and there was a piece of gravel somehow and something that I was doing underneath the skin that wouldn't close, and it was like this infection. And I remember my friend at the time had opened it and got the foreign body, and I'm seeing the foreign body as belief systems, things that contaminate the purity of our soul's expression. And that could be scarcity, that could be fear, that could be these lower octave expressions that begin to suppress our own potential, right? That block us off from vast portions of our potential in this plane. I'm seeing that being opened to actually remove something so that this restorative process can truly happen. And I'm just seeing returning to natural order. There's something around returning to how life was intended to be. So you also have the telescope, you have cell, and you have parsec. Over these next 3 months, there's something that you're going to be seeing through the lens of the soul. Expansion is, oh, I'm understanding this on a deeper level now. It's seeing further than the human eyes can see. It's something that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise had you not reopened something. Cell, and I'm seeing within humanity as well, is the nucleus. Oh, sorry. In the center of the cell, you have the nucleus. If you guys are here, I hope that you know this off by heart now. All right. Inside of the cell, you have the nucleus, right? And inside of the nucleus, you have DNA. And DNA stores the memory. And there's a remembrance that will take place over these next 3 months of, oh, I'm remembering why I incarnated on planet Earth during this time. There's something symbolic of this. It also speaks about intercommunication. Parsec is the distance between two events. It could be an object, a person, a thing. And I'm hearing it's closing the illusionary gap of separation. I'm going to read cell. I'm hearing there's something specific in here. Cell talks about the key to success. Again, this is a key, and you are that key to move freely between realms. A fundamental anatomical unit of all living organisms. So you're a living organism that's composed up of trillions of cells. Yeah. This is also boundaries, so it's not taking on the conditioning or projections of larger systems or the wounds of those around you. I'm seeing many of us are going to resist this process over the next 3 months, and many of us are going to lean into it. There's something about leaning into the experience. You know, when there's great discomfort, so someone doesn't want to move through it, even though that discomfort will be the very thing that brings you relief. Many of us avoid the transformation necessary to liberate us from a certain way of being that may be addressing certain things that need to shift, perhaps in your inner world or your outer world. I'm just seeing bringing you back into greater alignment. We will notice those who are resisting this process. You may be picking up on the suffering and the self-created cycles of suffering that they choose to keep themselves in. So cytoplasm is the cell membrane, and it basically acts as a gatekeeper to decide what comes in and out, what they allow in the external world to interrupt their internal state of being. So there's something around these next 3 months. It's really important to stay anchored and coherent. Everyone is going to be responding to this very differently. So it's being able to hold space for those different expressions. All right, I'm hearing different processes. The cellular membrane surrounds the cell and controls what comes in and out. Be aware of the energy which we surround ourselves with, feed ourselves, and allow to enter into our aura. The cytoplasm is the fluid within our cells where everything happens and is produced. Maintain a sense of fluidity to let things happen. I'm also seeing, you may think that you already know what this is, but I'm seeing a deeper depth of, or a layer that's going to be revealed to you. A deeper why that you will be remembering. Inside the cell is a nucleus which contains DNA. Always return to the simplicity of what makes us, the important things, the being, the nucleus, the root, the truth that one carries with them, being unique, sacred, and essential. The truth can always be found inside of the nucleus, and the truth will always set us free. What's important cannot be seen, but it's still there working on our behalf in full simplicity and humility. Then you have parsec, which is the distance with cell. So there's something that's closing the distance. Let me go ahead and read this. Parsec. Parsec is a pause for a new flow, and it's a 999 portal. So something major is going to be closing out. Distance from the space where we can find bodies, movements, and continuity. This place is where all matter is contained, and it calls for some time off in order to make enough room. Empty the mind of noises, images, and movements, which do not help create a blank space. With distance, we can appreciate the place to fill later with new apparitions, which are not taking place as they are unable to find an open space. Again, the thing is, because you're going through this refinement period, it will help you ascend into a higher octave and raise your frequency in such a way because you're alchemizing all that dense matter inside of the organism, inside of the human body. Now, when you raise your frequency, the quality of exchanges that you'll have and the quality of life experience you'll have in relation to your position on this planet and your relationship to the physical material plane will dramatically restore itself into a higher order. It will forge itself into a higher order. It reminds me of the entropy message, which is remaining locally ordered, internally coherent, remaining locally ordered, while disorder is displaced. Even though you're in a high entropy environment, which are things are designed to impact you, they will no longer impact you in the way that maybe they once would, simply because of the restoration process in which you've been through, the regenerating organism of consciousness that you are, your connection to the earth. So you may observe a bunch of chaos happening within other organisms that may be resisting this process. And it's not even about the relational dynamics or exchanges that happen, things that they may attempt to project, which is a reflection of their own internal war that they're still moving through, that they're still processing. So those boundaries are going to be important with the cell and the cytoplasm. It's also remaining locally ordered. It's also being seated in the stillness again, so that you can observe the intricacy and the secret order that's happening. We are all ascending. We are all evolving. It's a natural expression of the universe. And one little organism or one little cell resists the whole universal flow. You can fall into disorder. You can fall into incoherence, decoherence. And when a being falls into decoherence, they can go on this incredibly self-destructing path. Yet it also brings not just suffering, but this foundation of learning that's always in benefit for the soul's evolution. So trust that process and serve as a reminder of what it is to have a very strong electrical communication to the source, to the fact that you extend and branch far beyond the very system that you're immersed in while seated inside of it. For that state of coherence becomes, I'm hearing plausible, but it also becomes, contagious. There's something about the contagious impact of being so deeply connected to yourself and how that leaves an impression on the earth, but I'm seeing an energetic impression. There's something around the energetic impression of it, like something being embedded, something being ingrained. I'm seeing the impression, like Mama Kia, where she descends from the heavens onto earth and she leaves this impression on the bedrock. And so she leaves behind this temple, this place that serves as a reminder where souls gravitate towards this coordinate within space-time. And I'm seeing it as a coordinate or a point of reference where somebody can relate back to an encounter perhaps that they had with you, and that becomes incredibly restorative. There's something around the feminine flow of this and the feminine life force or the reconnection to the self. This is definitely what it reminds me of. Anyway, maybe I'm going on a tangent, but all right, let's go ahead and take a look at what you can expect for the ingress that will happen in April. I believe it's April 14th. Let me double check for you. Yeah, April 14th, 2027. What's the energy for April 14th, 2027? What are you being prepared for? Oof. You have constellation, geomagnetic storm, and gravitational acceleration. I'm hearing look in. There's something that you're going to be looking into next April. Geometric magnetic storm is like a ripple effect, and it talks about great. I'm seeing something will shift within the atmosphere of your life experience. And I actually got a download about this the other day. I'm going to do it in a separate reading. Constellation is the stellar stream. It connects you with soul tribe. It connects you with terrestrial, interdimensional bloodlines. So I'm seeing a ripple effect that occurs throughout this planet. Gravitational acceleration is a very specific intended target that you have. And it could be, again, anomaly, a deviation from what is statistically seen as possible. There's something that you're going to be doing that will have great impact. Constellation is this connecting. Let me see. Constellation is a magical connection which links points of your constellation. Constellations are groups of light energy and the formation of a system that can refer to various things. Terrestrial family, cosmic family, signs, people, things that are connected, divine groups forming a whole. It's a message or a group of guiding stars. You may be this celestial light body navigating this planet. It speaks about landmarks. So April 14th will become a landmark for you. It will be a point of reference that you'll look back at throughout this whole transit from 2033. I'm getting high pitch frequency. It's predominantly on my left side. So connection again to the feminine, but it kind of is in both. So I'm seeing as above, so below, something that's translating from higher realms directly into your life experience on this planet. They guide us towards the next step and provide us with information that allow us to know that we're in the right position for where we want to be headed. Constellations are natural compasses for human beings, and it's our soul's way of orientating the road ahead on planet Earth. Geomagnetic storm is disturbances to the Earth's magnetic field caused by shock waves. There could be something that you're going to be doing, or you're going to be walked into. This is big. It's sudden movement with more activity than normal. It could be a solar storm, which are disturbances that can last between several hours and several days. Now, we did a solar storm message previously. Let me see if I can find my download for the solar storm. It was the solar flares message, and I believe we were speaking about, we have central sun. It feels like it's part of the dialogue because the sun is this conscious organism that's constantly communicating with us. And this is planetary effects that are in motion that instructs the holographic system for what will translate into our physical experience. So it feels like there is something happening behind the scenes, some kind of recalibration period that will be happening for humanity and your own sovereign journey. There could be a transformation. All I'm going to say is in April, there will be a transformation that's going to be occurring, especially when it comes to your inner world, when it comes to the evolution of humanity, and really a reflection of where something must change within your life experience, especially internally in how you're relating to your life experiences and not allowing external distractions to pull you away from your own divinity. That's what this is. There could be disruptions that will be happening, yet you remain on target. There's something that you're remaining because you know why you're doing it. When you're connected with your why and you're anchored into your why, nothing can pull you out of that stream. Again, it's a magical flow. So you're going to be in this flow state. Even if there are like interruptions with the world, you're going to be navigating the material realm in a way that allows you to create consciously and responsibly. And it may be a massive impact that you're going to be having. I'm going to get one message as well for the Gateway of the Light activation. It feels like this message would be incomplete without it. So let's seal this up. Arcturian light codes. Arcturus is in the, well, you'll see it in the Libra sign, future thinking, recalling power, evolutionary downloads. So again, you're recalling some type of power. Arcturus could be symbolic for you, it could be specific. The Arcturian star system. This is future thinking, and the message for it is you can evolve into a greater state of being now. This begins with how you approach even the most mundane tasks within your own little universe. Show up in ways that you thought you could never show up before. Instead of checking out of this planet, it's a time to check in. Instead of feeling that things are happening to you, realize that there's a huge part that you have to play. Recall your power, realize that you are part of the evolution of humanity, and it's time to become the important leader that you were born to be. Even if that's how we lead ourselves through this existence. It doesn't matter if you're leading yourself or a larger group. The key is to create more loving ways of doing things. Honor the ideas and thoughts that you've been having recently. If you've been hearing high-pitched noises, so that was most probably the Arcturian energy that was coming through, seeing flickers of light or sensing that you're being visited by beings in your sleep, know that you're receiving downloads from the heavens and the Arcturians are with you. With that being said, my love, I'm gonna love and leave you right there. If you're already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. We would love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. Also check out Autospirit if you're looking for some high quality AAE grade gemstones. $1 of the proceeds are donated towards auto sanctuaries. And let me know, what do you feel like this will be for you? I'm interested to hear. Until next time, bye.
Clouds in the sky.